Welcome. This is a 20-minute live class. I am going to be teaching you backbends. We're going to do quite a zesty 20-minute class where we're going to be wakening up the chest and putting the spine through some lovely big backbends to hopefully send you into the rest of the day with a little more zest, a little more zeal and energy and spark. So I want you, please, to begin in downward facing dog with bent knees. Because this is quite a short sequence, we're going to get straight into it. So no child's pose to start, straight into downward facing dog, but do have your knees bent. And have a look at your hands and turn your fingers a little bit further away to the edges of the mat, like you're feathering your fingers to point a little bit more to the sides of your mat. That will help you to rotate your shoulders round nicely. And also make sure that your hands are far apart and your feet are far apart, almost to the edges of the mat, both hands and feet. Now start to straighten your legs and press your heels down, stretching the back body. Push your hands forward a little bit more so you can squeeze your thighs, push the center of your heels down towards your mat, getting a nice big stretch in down dog. Let your head hang. Don't let any tension build around your neck and shoulders, and in fact, turn your inner elbows up a little more towards the ceiling so your shoulder blades broaden on your back. Now bring your knees down to the floor and walk your knees back. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands a little further forwards so that when you come now into Anahatasana, you can bring your forehead to the floor and your bottom stays upright. Let the center of your forehead drop down to the floor. If it doesn't, reach around for a towel or a blanket and rest on there. Slightly press your knees towards each other in this back bend. Then come up to hands and knees. Bring your knees together and your feet together. Draw your navel up in towards your spine. And pick up your right leg and shoot it back behind you, turning the inner thigh up towards the ceiling so that the knee and the toes point down. Now press the left buttock in so you've got good stability. Keep pressing down with your right hand as you pick the left arm up and shoot it forwards. And keep scooping your navel up in towards your spine so you don't get a sort of lower hammocky belly, a low bend. Or a low droop. Keep pressing your right shoulder towards your back foot. Now bring your hand down, bring that knee down, and let's do the other side. Pick up the left leg, shoot long. I've got the wall in the way. If you're the same, move out of the way. Now scoop your belly in towards your spine. Turn the inner thigh up towards the ceiling of that back leg. And as you press the right toenails down, pick up your right hand and reach. Press your fingers, your right fingers, further away, creating more length in your entire body as you push that back foot back. Squeeze the back leg strong. Keep scooping your navel into your spine. Keep the abs engaged. Bring your hand down, bring the leg down and go back to down dog. Tuck your toes under, lift up. And again, look at your hands. Turn your index fingers a little bit away from each other. So they're not parallel from each other. They're actually turning slightly away. Now walk your feet forward, come into a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Again, feet nice and wide, press your fingers down. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come up to standing. Bring your arms together and down to your heart. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. As you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, raise your chest, look forward. And then take a step back with just your left foot. So pick up the left heel, shoot the foot back and step back. Bring your back knee down and bring both of your hands onto your front leg as you push your chest up. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Point your index fingers straight and strong and then point them down as you straight your elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And as you do this, really deep internal movements. Move your pubic bone up towards your navel. Squeeze your shoulder blades more onto your back. See if you can open up this back bend just a little bit more. Now release your hands, shoot your arms up overhead for Urdhva Hastasana. Then come forwards, touch down, and step your back foot forward. So pick up the back knee and step up to the front of your mat. Raise your chest, look forwards. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Now pick up your right foot, bring the heel up towards your right buttock, stretch the leg back, don't be in a hurry. Step back lightly to the back of your mat as you bring your knee down. Both hands on your front leg, push up your chest, press your hands down strongly, squeeze your bottom. Interlace your hands behind the back, the non-dominant clasp. Think about that for a little bit. And then press your hands down, maybe the index fingernail is touching your inner right thigh. That's quite a nice guideline if you can do that. Press down more. Again, pubic bone up to navel, navel up to your heart up to your chin up to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Strong legs, strong glutes. Release your hands. Keep the rest of your body like this as you shoot your arms up overhead and stretch. Look forwards, look down, touch down with your hands and step forwards again. Pick up the back knee and step up. Raise your chest out of the Uttanasana, look up. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Now come up to standing, bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, push your feet down, bring your hands up and together and down to your heart. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look forwards. And then walk back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring your knees down to the floor and come all the way down. Slowly, don't be in a hurry. Now I'm too far forward, so I'm going to move back a little bit. Make sure that you've got lots of space here so that you can bring your arms forward, palms facing each other and arms more or less parallel. Squeeze your legs so your kneecaps come off the floor and look down. Pick up just your right leg, squeezing that leg straight and strong. And if that right leg doesn't come off the floor, just try and bring it towards coming off the floor, a feeling of lightness. Keep looking down so the back of your neck stays long. And as you press your right hand down, blade it down, pick up your left arm. And this is optional. If it's too much, just keep your arm down. Whatever you're doing, be aware of your abdominal muscles. And again, lift up the navel away from the floor so that your abdominal muscles engage and help you with this. Maybe come up a little bit higher. Point the back toe. And then whatever you've got up, bring it down and go to the other side. Pick up the left leg. Keep looking down. Tuck your chin slightly under. Turn the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Option here to pick up the right arm. Keep pressing your left foot towards the right foot. Even move it slightly so that it's very central and the inner thigh has to engage. Come up a little bit higher with whatever you've got up. And then bring whatever you've got up down. Bring your hands by the sides of your waist. Go back to downward facing dog. Push the floor away, lift up, and press back. Move into the full down dog. So you might need to move hands or feet forwards or back. And again, turn the inner elbow creases up towards the ceiling. So you broaden your shoulders on your upper back. They separate from each other. Let your head hang. Now walk your hands halfway back towards your feet. Stay here. Press your heels down a little more if you can. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands. Bring your hands to your hips. Point your elbows to the ceiling, bend your knees and come up. And bring your feet together. We're going to do a standing thigh stretch. Bend the right leg. Grab the base of your shin, push the right hip point forward and the knee back. Bring the left arm out to the side to help you with your balance. And then see if you can bring that right knee back a little bit more as you raise your chest. So exaggerate the back bend here, lifting up your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Now, take your hand away but keep the foot high. And then bring your right foot down to the floor, placing it next to the left foot. Other side, bend the left leg. Squeeze the heel towards the left buttock as you press the right buttock in. Right arm helping you with your balance. Maybe bring that knee back a little bit more, the hip point forward a little bit more as you raise your heart. Take your hand away, keep the foot up. And then slowly bring your foot down and come back to hands and knees. Bring your knees to the floor, your hands to the floor, and then move back even more and bring your belly all the way down. Bring your hands back by the sides of your waist, squeeze your legs strong and bring your feet as close to each other as you can. Coming into Cobra, we want to create this snake's one tail rather than two-legged tail. Lift your throat away from the floor, peel your chest up, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Press your tailbone down towards the mat. I'm going to put a little bit of fluidity into this. Come part way down, about halfway down, and turn your chest towards the right. And then towards the left. To the right again. Keep pushing down through the base of your index fingers. Towards the left, final twist. Come back to center. And then come all the way down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press your knuckles towards your feet, pick up your arms and pick up both legs. Push through the balls of your big toes and press your legs towards each other. Throat away from the floor. Again, draw your navel up in towards your spine. Maybe bring your hands a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Back to downward facing dog. Separate your fingers. Bring your hands by the sides of your waist. Push the floor away. And press back. Lengthening your lower back here by pressing your tailbone more up towards the ceiling or more towards where the back wall and the ceiling meet, kind of a 45-degree angle. So firm your abs, scoop in your navel again so that you've got more control here with your abdominal muscles toned to lengthen your spine. Walk your hands halfway back again. Press your heels down. Make sure all toes are pointing forwards. Now walk your feet forward. Bring your hands onto your hips, bend your knees and come all the way up to standing. Now, this is where we're going to use the wall. So please move your mat so that the short edge of the mat is against the wall. So it doesn't matter if you've got stuff either side, we just need a nice clear piece of wall here. Then turn away from the wall and kneel down. If you've got tender knees, put a blanket underneath both of your knees. You can fold a blanket and leave it like this if you need to. You'll see why in a minute. Now, bring both of your hands down to the floor. We're going to really stretch our thighs here. Pick up your left leg and snuggle the knee into the wall, making sure that the knee stays on the floor. Good. Then, keeping this, look around and make sure that the foot is going straight up towards the ceiling. And if you can't see, look the other way. And if you still can't see, don't worry too much. Then, from here, bring your right hand closer towards your left hand and step your right foot onto the floor. Keep your chest low. You can even bend your elbows a lot here. Please feel free to stay here at this point. Or, if you've got the range of motion, bring your right hand onto your right leg. If that's going okay, you can possibly take it further and pick up the other hand and also put it onto that upright leg. You may well be feeling this now in the leg that's got the foot up the wall. You can always keep your chest low. If you can, bring your chest up a little bit higher, pushing your hands in towards your knee. And you may even find that you can bring your bottom to the wall so that the heel is actually touching the center of the left buttock, or perhaps a little to the outside. If that's going okay, then maybe even come up a little bit more and bring your upper back. Those of us that are down here, stay there, be patient. You're still doing a great job here. We all have different ranges of motion and we all have to work within the limits that we have. If this is going okay, then you can bring the backs of your hands to the floor, to the wall rather. And if that's going okay, then possibly bring your arms up overhead. 3, scoop your navel in towards your spine. 2, 1, try and turn the corners of your mouth up towards your eyes. It's difficult in this pose. And then bring your hands all the way down if they were up and dismantle the pose. So the foot that's on the floor, you're going to now bring that knee down and move the back knee that was against the wall so that you're now in a symmetrical kneeling pose. Sit onto your heels. Notice how that stretched thigh feels now. I think that's definitely one of those poses that feels really good when you come out of it. Let's do the other side. Come back up to hands and knees. Bring the other knee to the wall. Move your hands over to the right. So I'm bringing my right knee to the wall. Make sure that you're just doing the other side or whatever makes sense, the other leg. Keep your hands on the floor like this and the other knee down, or step your left foot up so that the foot is flat on the floor. Please feel free to stay like this. Bend your elbows or straighten your arms if you can, or bring your hand up onto that thigh. Make sure the foot isn't too far forward, by the way, that the shin is straight up and down. Stay with this, or as you press that back foot into the wall, bring your other hand on. Keep your chest low. Possibly start to raise your chest. Possibly start to move your bottom back more towards the wall. You might need to adjust the position of this foot in front. I've just brought mine back a little bit so that the shin stays straight up and down. Now, stay here. This leg might be tighter than the other leg, by the way, so be prepared to not necessarily replicate the other side. If this is all going okay, then possibly bring your back more to the wall. Listen to the feedback your leg is giving you, and then maybe come up a little bit more. If it's going well, possibly the arms can come up. This adds in that extra little bit of zest. Raise your heart, pubic bone up to your navel up to your heart up to your fingernails. And then wherever you were, start to reverse the entire process. So if you're up, bring your hands down, bring them inside that leg that's up. Come back to hands and knees, and then come into downward facing dog. And again, index fingers pointing away. So we're doing variations of lots of poses today. In order to help you with the back bending, feet nice and wide apart. Walk your hands back towards, halfway back towards your feet, like we've been doing. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands. Feet nice and wide apart, come into Uttanasana. So we're doing some forward fold here as well. Bend your knees, bring your hands onto your hips and come all the way up to standing. I'm just going to move my mat so that it's easier for you to see. I'm going to do a couple more poses that have the back bend emphasis, and then we're going to move on to forward folds and then Shavasana. So come to the front of your mat, separate your feet to about hip width apart or a little wider. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, fold, go back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look forwards. And as you exhale, walk back into downward facing dog. Again, look at the index fingers, turn them slightly away, and press your chest towards your thighs as you draw your navel into your spine. Bring your knees down to the floor. Walk your knees back a little bit. Bring your belly all the way down. Now, keep your hands beside your waist as if you were going to do Cobra, but don't do Cobra. Bend both of your knees. Show the soles of your feet to the ceiling and separate all 10 toes. And squeeze your knees towards each other. Press your tailbone down so your lower back lengthens. Keep your hands where they are and pick your knees up off the floor, if possible. Even they might just feel a little lighter. 3, perhaps your thighs can come up a little bit more maybe. 2, keep pressing your knees towards each other. 1, Then bring your legs all the way down. Rest your forehead on your hands. Now, coming into Cobra. Again, bring your legs together like one long serpent's tail. Bring your hands by the sides of your ribs and back a little bit towards your waist and curl up. Squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Press your legs towards each other. Draw your shoulders down towards your hips. Then come all the way down. This is our final back bend. Uttanasana, bow pose. This is what we've been building towards. Bend both of your knees, spark your feet, separate the toes, bring your hands by the sides of your legs. Now pick your hands up and turn your thumbs down. Bring your knees a little closer to each other if you can. Then reach back with one hand and grab the base of the shin, and then the other hand. Try and straighten your legs a little bit more here. Press in your legs into your hands so you really straighten your arms and create more of a right angle in your knees. Now peel your throat away from the floor, then your chest. Push your toes back, lift up your thighs if possible, and squeeze your knees towards each other, coming into Uttanasana. Press your tailbone down towards the mat as much as you can. Maybe raise your chin. 3, 2, perhaps come up a little higher. 1, and then rest again. Bring the other hand on top and rest your forehead and rest the entire back body. Now bring your hands by the sides of your ribs. Don't worry, you'll rest more in a minute. Come back up to hands and knees and cross your legs with your right leg in front. If you have a towel or a blanket, please feel free to sit on it to give yourself a little bit more height in your pelvis, making these forward folds a little more accessible, especially if your knees are up quite high. Right leg in front. Try and make sure that your feet are underneath your knees. Bring your hands onto your knees. Raise your chest. Stay like this, or scoop your navel into your spine and come forwards, bringing your hands to the floor. So a really nice forward fold, counter pose to all the back bends that you've been doing. Lengthen the lower back. Let your pelvis feel very heavy here. And because we've been doing so many back bends, this is going to feel quite alien and tight to you. So be gentle with your judgment and just come into a forward fold that is accessible to you now. A few more breaths here, so you might find that having been here for a few moments, you can come in a little deeper. Let your head hang if you can, and keep scooping your navel in towards your spine. Maybe bring your hands a little closer to each other so you get more of a stretch on the side body, thumbs touching. Press your feet down strongly. If you're forward, come halfway up and then all the way up. Bring your hands behind you so that you can change the cross of your legs. Now the left leg is in front. Make sure again that the feet are underneath the knees. Blade your feet down strongly. Bring your hands to your knees and lengthen. Lengthen the front body. Stay like this, or again, tip forwards. Slowly, proceed with caution. Take your time to feel your way into the pose. Perhaps bringing your thumbs together to touch. Scoop your navel in, keep your abs nicely, strongly toned so the lower back is supported. Possibly crawling your fingers, little inchworming of your fingers happening to get a bit more length in your back. Your back has been contracted in this deep extension work we've been doing, so now you're getting the chance to round it. Press your feet down. Then come halfway up if you're quite far forward. And then walk your hands back. Bring your hands to the floor behind you. If you were sitting on a blanket, take it away now, or even put it where your head is going to go for Shavasana. And prepare for Shavasana. We're not coming into it quite yet, but do lie down. So bring your bottom to the middle of the mat, knees bent, elbows down. Bring your head onto the towel if you want to, otherwise just onto the mat. Ponytail can be drawn out. Cross your right leg over your left leg. And draw your knees in towards your chest as you put your left hand on the first knee and your right hand on the knee that's further away. Really relax your shoulders here and your jaw. The hook of your hands is strong, but your arms, your shoulders, your neck, try and make them as soft as you can. Turn your ankles, turn your feet around a couple of circles in one direction and then the other. Then let your feet be still. Take your hands away from your knees, uncross the right leg, cross the left one over. Bring your hands back on your knees and gently draw your knees in towards your chest. When I say gently, I mean really just use the weight of your arms. Hips getting a nice release here, having had your glutes very strongly toned in those back bends. So again, we're releasing the back body. You can let your tailbone and the sacrum peel off the floor as much as you want to here. Now release your hands, uncross your legs and come into Shavasana. Lengthen your legs long down the mat. Separate your legs and let your toes really fall away from each other, left foot, right foot. Make fists with your hands here and then slowly let your fingers uncurl. So you're making loose fists with the palms facing up to the ceiling. Tuck your shoulder blades under a little bit more so your upper back feels flat or relatively flat against the wall, the floor. Loosen your jaw, even move it a little bit to the left and the right. And then be really still. You're going to stay here in silence for another minute or so. I'll ring the bells when it's time for you to come out. Stay here and rest. Bend your knees one leg at a time and roll over onto your side. Stay here. Let the weight of your head be cradled and held by your upper arm, or let it continue to rest on your mat. Take a few moments here in quiet contemplation before you need to go back into the events of your day. Notice how your body is feeling, having done all those back bends. What are the little changes going on in your back, your legs, your hips, your shoulders? How has your body and your mind and your spirit responded to the last half hour or so? Now press down with one hand and then the other hand, bringing yourself up to join me in a seated position. Sit tall, close your eyes. And bring your hands into your heart. Slightly separate your fingers in an Anjali Mudra, pressing the base of your thumbs into the base of your breastbone. Lower your chin so that it touches your fingertips or comes close to it. Now release your hands and turn your palms up, resting the backs of your hands on your legs as you raise your heart and raise your chin. Separate your fingers strong. Now slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do give a thumbs up, make any comments or suggestions below, and remember to subscribe. And I look forward very much to our next live class, probably Fridays. I'm going to keep Fridays. I'll let you know otherwise. So make sure that you're following me on Facebook, Sarah B Yoga, and Instagram, also Sarah B Yoga, where I let everyone know what's going on with my YouTube classes. Thank you. Namaste.